Hello, welcome back. My name is Dr. George Mochocki. Guess what? We're starting week 3. Now remember, this is a 16-week course condensed into 11 weeks, give or take. So really, when we're starting week 3, you're basically in a 16-week course. Might have been like week 4.5. You're doing well. I think majority of students are getting B's and A's. I got some F's, but that's just part of it. For some of you, online class may not be the type of a course you expected. There's a lot of work in this class. You have to do discussion boards, you're doing quizzes, you're doing Learn Smart, Connect homework, you're doing different assessments. And this week we're going to have our first quiz from chapters 1 through 6. So let's get into this. You're taking this class real quickly. This class is offered by the College of Lake County. We're located in, you already know where we're located, Grace Lake. But since I'm doing a YouTube, some people may think, who is this guy? Where are they at? I may want to sign up for his class. The College of Lake County is located in Lake County in Illinois. So if you want to sign up for the course, sign up. I think the online class, if you're in the area, out of the district, you might have to pay a little bit more, but it'll be an excellent class. This is just a quick overview of what you've done well and what you need to focus on. Okay? So let's see what we have week 3. Week 3, remember your exam's going to be week 3. It's not going to be open up to today at midnight. And then you have your whole week the next Sunday midnight to complete. Your discussion boards should start by Wednesday, and then they will end by Saturday midnight, noon the latest. Don't wait till the last minute to do all your homework. Like I'm preaching to the choir. You know that. There's no way you could complete this class. There's no way you'll be able to even pass this class if you try to keep it all in one. Way too much work to do. Okay, so let's click on week 1. Let's do today. You're going to have 2 assessments. Before you go into the discussion board, you have to complete these 2 assessments. So click them on there, and one's in corporate preferences. And after you receive your feedback, I'm going to show you. You're going to click on there. Which type of culture would you prefer? Stating do you agree with the assessment. Maintenance can tell you if your control preferences. One thing to remember that in the assessments, you need all of them, but you have a preference one over the other. Let's say I may be one of the preferences are I may be a real control freak. So some companies, a bureaucratic company, very control orientated, where others may be more participative or more performance. But in reality, no matter what corporation, it's the type of corporate business or even your own business, you need all of them. I got to have control. I got to look at performance. But where do I place most of my emphasis? And as an individual, that's also, where do I place most of my emphasis? Just like down the road, we'll be doing a little bit, we'll be doing on motivation, and what motivates me may not motivate you. Okay, so you do that, do the assessment, and if you can't get the assessment to work here, cut and paste the link. Let me just click on the assessment, and you basically have the questions, and it's going to ask you, I prefer an organization, blah blah blah, and I'm just going to go real quickly. That's not the way I want you to do it. I'm talking about answer the questions. Remember, you have to answer all these questions, whatever. Okay, and I'm just gonna get out of here because I don't want to spend that much time on that. You do it, and the other one is entrepreneurship. Again, you take the entrepreneur quiz, you come in here and print it out. You're gonna get a score. So in the subject area, okay, so you're gonna get a score. Are you a self-starter? Can you take responsibility? How good of an organizer are you? Can you make decisions? All of these, this one here, if you look at the entrepreneur and the business types of businesses that we're covering this week, whether you're small business, larger corporation, you have to go through all of it. If I'm an entrepreneur, later on we go into the leadership. The leadership has to have all of these self-starter, how do you feel about people, can you lead others? Same thing you have to do as an entrepreneur or a manager. Dr. George, I'm not going to open up a company or a business. You'd be working for somebody as a manager or a department head. All right, and that. Remember, do it, print it out, and then you use it. Okay, so you do these 2 assessments first. We're going to go back in here. Okay, and then you're going to go into your weekly discussion board with the assessment. Okay, your first assessment, discuss your results. Okay, so you're going to, does you take it, everything I asked you to do in the 2 assessments, put it in here in the subject area. I got a 50 on, I'm a control freak, control assessment, and an entrepreneur, I got a 70 or something else. And then always, respond to it. And then as you look at that, also state, what kind of corporate, your business, are you going to be a focus basically on control? Are you going to be looking more for performance? Remember, you need all of them, but which one is your business operation that you're going to be opening up that you identified last week that you're going to be doing that works well for your business? The reason I make you do these assessments to find out something about yourself, one thing. The other reason is basically, do you agree with the assessment? We're all unique. None of us are the same. So what fits in? So you learn a little bit about yourself, how you responded, and it gives you a little thing to go for. When I'm hiring people, when I'm looking for a certain type of individual, most companies have a certain culture. If we're main focus on control type, bureaucratic, I mean, engineers, very control. So, if I'm a doctor, very control. I can't deviate. I got to think out, but I got to do a procedure a certain way because, so the patient doesn't have ramifications afterwards. When I'm looking at individuals, make them do it. I also teach resources, HR. When I'm trying to bring individuals into the company, they got the qualification, the degrees, what you're going for now, but then I'm also want to make sure that this person fits into my culture. If I'm a more of a laissez-faire that you're going to read about, or one that's more participative, and I'm in a very control, I may not feel comfortable. I'm going to try to get the first job because I need the money. All right. I mean, I'm not naive, but afterwards, I'm going to leave the organization. I want to bring people in that love the organization, that stay with the organization, and that are profitable for organization. Eventually, you may leave, but at least I have you for at least 3, 4 years, and you're happy. If you're a happy employee, you meet my values, my corporate culture, and it works out well. Because if I bring a wrong person in that has a different culture mindset than the people there, I have friction. I mean, sometimes I bring it in just to change the culture a little. But let's say we're just doing it normal for now, okay? So you've got that. So, and then the last thing you're going to have is a water cooler, a discussion board, okay? This one here, you click on, if there's any questions. We're in week 3, really it's about week 4.5, and if you'll be taking a traditional 16-week class, and ask a question. Dr. George, what about this? Or this. Now remember, when you post a question you want to ask, put it in the subject area so other students in this course, they may know the answer. They might have read ahead or they might have had me for another class, so they know how to respond. Do not wait on me. I'm trying to stimulate or help you work how it'll be in a business if one of your colleagues or you have a question and you throw it out at work or you throw it out to your network of new business owners or to the Chamber of Commerce, wherever you have some kind of connections to help you resolve this. My background came out of construction, all right, but I had engineers working for me. So if I had some issues as a manager or what do you call it, a superintendent, I couldn't really go ask the employees, hey, what about this? I would ask some of my peers that came out of the engineering background, even though they're doing the same job I have. They have different reports, and say, hey, I've got this engineer. How do I motivate an engineer? Or I don't understand this, and they'll help me out. Similar to when they would have construction because their background was from engineering. They would ask me some construction background information that could help them out. So we're helping each other out before I had to go to the next level to my boss. You hate to go to your boss. Meet your instructor. You try to resolve and help each other. That's how we learn what we call in business a learning organization. You know, it's okay to ask for help if you're not sure. A lot of times when engineers, not that I had to worry about engineers, I had my direct report who's an engineer or she's an engineer. And she basically, so she's got the expertise or he has the expertise. But if it's some kind of people issue, I might ask him, but I just want to bounce it off. Don't ever just use one source of information and go for it. You never do that in business. You never do that when you buy a product. If I'm the only salesperson selling you something and telling you this is the product, the best product for you, and you don't check your sources, you're a fool. Same thing when you do your resources. Remember when we're doing resource, when you're doing finding sources for your project you're coming out there, try not to use one source. Look at different sources. Same thing when you're looking what's in the news. A lot of people look at maybe Fox. Some people look at ABC, whatever. You know what I'm talking about? CNN I kind of avoid because they're basically, I'll glance at them once in a while. But a lot of they're doing too many retractions. So if they're doing too many retractions, they're not really doing any kind of fact guide. I mean, it's kind of nice to see what they're thinking of, but I need something that's more solid, more credible. credible. The other, and I'm just sure this is my own personal, so I'm not trying to bash. If you like CNN and you think they're credible, fine. Remember, I don't look at a lot of news media. I basically go looking more of the information, like a lot of the students here, Generation Zs and the Mills, and Gen Xers and everything else, the younger people. You don't need to look at what I call the mainstream media. You get your information through alternative sites. You may be looking something about Mexico, so I go into the Chamber of Commerce in Mexico, or if I'm looking at something about China, if I'm looking at something about the U.S., looking at something in business, I'm getting my information. Where do I get my news from? Also, my news. I may look at, there's a lot of other newscasters out there, what you would call alternative news, you know what I mean? And I look at that. Same thing when I look at different positions of individuals. I know a lot of individuals may not agree with our current administration, and that's fine. You know, remember, in business, I keep on stressing it. Mine is not to agree, say, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, I'm a Hillary, I'm a Trump. I don't really care. You know what I mean? Who's in power right now is the well, kind of Republicans, because Donald Trump doesn't fit into any of the two keys. He's not really a Republican. He's not really a Democrat. He's right in the middle. So who the heck knows where he's coming from? So I got to look at his messages, whether you like it or not, and then I'm looking at different people who are commentating on that. I look at the mainstream media. I look at alternative news. You know, you may look at uh, different individuals. I don't want to push one or another because there's many out there. I think one comes into mind because it's always in the news. InfoWars. I kind of look at them. I don't agree with everything they say. Okay, but it's a different perspective. You see what I mean? And then I look at different things. You look at if you're looking from the conservative side, then you're looking at Ben Shapiro. I think, and I might pronounce it. Look, I'm just looking. What I'm looking is because I have to make a decision. What's going on? I don't trust. You shouldn't really trust anyone. Do not get stuck with just, and they said, well, are you a Democrat, you're a Republican? I'm an independent thinker. I just look at the information, I take the information, resources. Now I've got different points of view because that's what my customer base are, the different points of view. Don't bring the politics in, but you have to understand where they're coming from. So from now, I'm trying to understand where this administration, I got the tax break. As a business, woo, that's pretty good. You know what I mean? So employees are happy. Now, the only thing I'm still looking about the healthcare. Small businesses, we want to provide healthcare. It's just too costly for us right now. Affordable healthcare that was in there was okay. They gave me that edge. The problem is I never knew what the costs are. I had to know what my expenses are, and we're going to talk about that when we go into furthermore into our what do you call it, finance and everything else. Maybe by that time I'll have that all resolved. All right, so remember, I don't take anything. What I'm trying to do when you're doing research is do not use one source, different sources. If you're asking consumers, if I'm looking at somebody my age, baby boomers, am I only asking baby boomers? Hey, you think this thing will work? And some of my customers may be Generation Z, the new people born from around 2000. They're about 17, 18 now. They're buying out. They're getting out of high school. They're going to work. They got disposable income. I just don't know their buying habits now. So I'm going to say, hey, well, just catch on for. Is this where they get their information? And maybe if I look at the Main Street, yeah, we've got a website, and we've got a lot of this generation, this type of individuals, this group looking at that. Okay, do I believe them? No. Then I look at different media and I say, oh, geez. Then I talk to Generation Zs or Gen Xers and I say, hey, where do you get your media? Oh, we get it from either Facebook, social media, Stream It, Gab, DB2. I mean, oh my goodness, what are these places? Never heard of them. But what do? I go in there and I look at it. Do I want to put my ads in there? What do I want to do? Or is it too risque? Remember, you're always looking at your brand and everything else. Okay, so we've got that. And I just throw that in because people get so they take one sword or Wikipedia, and English second language, I might pronounce it wrong, but you can't just go on that because people change that. Look at different sources. Look at the government. Look at the CIA. Oh, CIA. Hey, that's their perspective. And then you look at the country you want to go in there. Remember, and one thing you have to remember: every time you look at anything, they're skewed to the direction, to the narrative that they are promoting. That's why people go to certain news medias versus other news media. I don't want you to be locked into one way. Don't ever put yourself into I'm a Democrat, I'm a liberal, I'm a conservative, I'm a communist, I'm a socialist. We are everything. We're American. What you want to do is I take information from all. Remember we learned in chapter 3 a while back, global, there is no pure model for anything else. It's all mixed. That's what happens with the web. Welcome to our world. So you should get your sources. And now I have a general idea. Don't remember, your own perspective is what you feel is right until you talk to other people. All right. Remember, keep an open mind. Look at all of them. I don't care. I look at every media there is. As soon as they, Dr. George, look at it, ooh, geez, oh my God, this is a little bit risque, or just a little bit vulgar, or just a little bit more to the left. I understand that, but I'm getting that idea, and that's how I get my own information. The internet and all the different sites, both the mainstream and alternative sites, are basically all available for us. That's why you can't lock us in, especially the younger individuals, because you're getting information everywhere. You very rarely read the print. That means newspapers, magazines. And when I found out Generation Z, I'm looking, doing some research on my own. Very little on TV. You guys don't even watch the TV. You go straight to Nano on all those commercials. You go to Netflix, Hulu, whatever it is, right? And other ones, Amazon got their own shows. So now cable TV. If I'm getting all my information from cable TV news, that's a one perspective, one side, and a lot of them are fairly similar because they got a lot of regulation. The alternative media is a little more risque, but it gives you more of a realistic type of understanding of the subject matter you're looking at. Okay, so you've got that. Okay, so we're in weekly discussion. What else do we have here? Okay, so you have that. You've got your Learn Smart, then go on there. You've got my lectures. Always print them out. You know, goes so a lot of people will print them out first. You first print out my mind maps. You got my mind maps. Right? Oops, I got to put in 5 in here. Let me just go like this. When I'm looking at the mind maps, let me show you, because I'm live, so I'm not going to be changing. So I remember now. I browse my computer. All I'm doing here, you can't do this. Remember, I'm setting up for you. You've got your, since I got here, you've got your weekly Connect homeworks. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Students' mind maps. You can do a weekly connect. Remember, all I'm doing is connection. Everything you can find in here, weekly lectures. Oh, here's weekly mind maps. Okay, Dr. George's mind maps. And you click in here. I think I could, let me browse again. I think I could go in a little bit more. Hang on a second. Go a little bit fast here, class. Let me slow down. I'm trying to keep this under 10 minutes. Okay, I got mind maps. Okay, so it doesn't have it. So I just got the link in here, and you've got all my mind maps available for you. And this is, we're covering chapter 5 and 6, printed out. Okay, I just created the links for you. That's all I do. You can find them right here. So let me go in here. You go mind maps. It's open. I'm gonna make sure it's working. Click in here, right? And then you go into, we're doing chapter 5. And remember, these are good mind maps, concept maps. Just a quick overview. I got it in here. So it's a PDF file. Print it out. See what I got here. And then, right, remember, every there's a plus, you add to it. And so this is what we're, there's things in the yellow you should know. Remember, when you're taking the quiz, I'm pulling from a test bank of, for each chapter, maybe 75 questions. The final exam is a little different because it's more like a departmental final, for lack of better words. It's a new book, so I'm not worried about copying everything else. It's just a test bank. Odds are you may have the same questions as somebody else, or you may not have them. That's how you do well. I think, well, this is your first test, so some students are looking at this, but use this as a way of studying, and also as a way when you're, for lack of better words, when you're doing your homework, look at my, what do you call it? Weekly homework. When you're doing my, lost my train of thought. I'm in here trying to do 20 things. What you find out, what they tell you, is that you know, some people say I'm multitasking. Don't go in an interview and say I'm multitasking. I could do many tasks. I spread out my tasks over the week. Multitasking means you're never focusing on anything. So you may have, you may say, well, he doesn't do good work because you can't do, look, what researchers said, I'm not really multitasking. I'm doing something, I'm really focusing on that, and the other things are just there, and I'm going back and forth. You're not really focusing on the tasks. Okay, so it looks like you can't focus in. So basically, it says I am not a multitasker. I could do multiple tasks because I set up different times at different times within the week. Remember, you're just changing the same thing, and so you're looking at it. Okay, so you've got that smartly. Okay, your exam one. Your exam one will be open Wednesday. Yeah, I said Wednesday, but I think I left it open right away for you. Not available until February 25th at midnight, because some of you want to finish earlier. You've got your exam one. I think there's 33 questions for your first one, and it's worth 100 points. Exam 2 is going to be in a few weeks. It'll be the next chapters we cover. There you're going to have 50 questions, and it's going to be worth 2 points each. I'm trying to build up your test taking in the same time frame. Because when you do the final exam, it's the same time frame you would have inside the classroom. I think it's an hour and a half. And so now that's what your test now is like an hour. You know what I mean? The first one will give you a little more time so you get used to this. And then the second exam will be similar time. Go through the exam. Don't wait. Make sure you get it all done. Then when you have some time, you have the options of going back and forth. Okay, so after 25th, after tonight at midnight, you'll have that. Okay, so that's about it. That's my weekly homework, and you should be all done. And remember, you could either go through the homework. If I don't have this week open, some week's not open, don't worry. You basically could do all your smart homeworks in here, and if there's any kind of late exams, you got to talk to me, and I'll open it up, and then later they're closed. Remember, after the week is closed, you go forward. You do not come back. I don't, right? The first week I give you a little break. Now, if you missed the exam, you missed something else, you just lost a point. Hey, it's out of 900, 1,200 points. Move on forward. Those are my commitment is that you do the homework on time. If I have to go back every week and open up all this for one individual student, that's not the effective use of my time. It's too much damn time for me. In fact, I don't get paid for that. Remember, you lost those points. The customer's already upset. Make sure you go forward and pick them up. That's part of life. Things happen. Sometimes things don't work out for you. Sometimes I miss my clients. They upset with me. They drop me. No different like anything else. All right. So remember, you're doing well in this class. If you're doing your Learn Smart, you're doing your discussion boards, you're doing your quiz, you're doing everything on time, you have no issues. Those of you who haven't done anything, and I got one or two, you basically there's no way you're gonna very rarely because you had to pick up from now. So you've lost 4 weeks of assignments and points. That means you almost have to get max everything else going forward, or you're not going to pass the class. All right? So I don't want to be negative. I want to be realistic. This class is a realistic class. This is no different than, remember, due dates are important in business, and your word is your word. Tell a customer or something else. All your points are look at your grade and points I give you as academic currency. And I'll see you in the discussion board. Remember, you got 2 discussion. The other one is just give me some feedback and make sure you do the 2 assessments first. All right. So my name is Dr. George Mochocki. This is week 3, introduction to business online, and just a quick overview of your homework, what to expect next week. And I'll see you in the discussion board. And just real quickly, if you see me on campus, because remember, some of you already know me. If I look at discussion board, I see your faces. I'm kind of familiar. You see me a little bit more because I'm in the recordings, the YouTubes. Hey, say, hey, Dr. George. And I go, oops, who are you? Oh, hi. And I look at you. Some of my, I say, I'm in your online class. I like to talk to you on that. Because then I like to actually face to face. You know what I mean? That's why I do this stuff with the discussion boards where you post your profile. All right? Have a nice day. Bye. 23 minutes. Perfect.